Video game controllers, the things you look at when you turn on a game and say, yeah, I'm gonna need one of those. Controllers have been around since the Magnavox Odyssey back in 1972. Sure, you had Pong and other subsequent arcade games, but this was the first proper game controller. And it looked like a glorified Etch-a-Sketch. This thing doesn't exactly scream controller when you look at it, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. It wasn't until 1977 that the world was given the Atari 2600, which had a controller that more people tend to remember. This thing is a classic. It looks great even today. The design was simple enough, a joystick and a button, which when you look at the games that ran on it, I guess that's all you needed. I think even though the system itself wasn't the best thing in the world, a lot of people, including myself, can appreciate the fact that it took a step in the right direction. And this was essentially the standard for a while, but unfortunately that didn't bode well for the video game industry as a whole. Atari may or may not have made a bunch of copies of a bad game based on a good movie, and it didn't exactly go over well. But at the final hour, when the video game industry was literally about to collapse, everybody looked over to the corner of the room and saw Nintendo really is badass. Not only did they save video games, but their first console had a controller like this. Woohoo! God, it's just so simple and effective. Any new player could boot up Super Mario Bros. For the first time and figure it out rather quickly. What can I say? This thing just worked. And it's not a surprise why this console is still so loved today. Later on, they made the Super Nintendo, and that felt like a natural progression. They rounded out the edges and added a couple more buttons, but something out there was about to change controllers forever. The video game industry just went to the third dimension, baby! That's what I'm talking about! And with that leap meant that there was gonna need to be some changes. The biggest of these changes was the introduction of the analog stick. It's like a joystick, but small and compact. It's insane. While this creation was revolutionary to the world of video games, I can't exactly say that it spawned in the most pleasant way. Why does it have a penis? Don't get me wrong, I love the N64, but I'm not alone when I say that Nintendo must have taken a fat line when they were designing this thing. Alright, so what do you guys think this design's missing? Ugh, give it a dick! The controller having 3 parts extending from it made you wonder how exactly you were supposed to hold it. Technically, the intended way was to have the left hand hold the middle part and the right hand hold the right side because, well, screw the D-pad, I guess. I shouldn't be too tough on the thing though. After I got that third arm surgery, everything works just fine. But the N64's controller was about to get shat on because the people over at Sony were making sweet, sweet love, which spawned this bad boy. Oh god, no, not that. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one. While the PlayStation 1 didn't launch with these controllers, they certainly made a name with them. Known as the DualShock controllers, these would go on to be the staple of the PlayStation for generations to come, while also influencing every other game developer to use 2 analog sticks. Sure, Microsoft's first attempt at an Xbox controller might have needed its own area code, and Nintendo gave their new controller an analog stick and a half, but things were getting better, damn it. I mean, I might be biased, but I love the way the GameCube controller feels. It's just got that smooth design with those triggers that click and the motion rumble, it's so cool. I mean, this is the controller that I grew up with, so why wouldn't I love it? And by the time I got an Xbox 360, even though the shapes of the buttons were different, the layout was so familiar, I felt right at home.
Oh yeah, but what about the Wii?
Yeah, the Wii's motion controls were definitely revolutionary. It provided different solutions to the problem that were fun for the whole family. Anyways, this is
But what about the Wii Fit balance board?
Yeah, I mean, of course. That thing was definitely fun because it added more options to the types of games that Nintendo was able to release, while also putting an emphasis on personal fitness. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. This is all to say that video game controllers have come a long way. They went from looking and feeling like paperweights to being devices that melt into your hands. And there's so much that's been added over the years, like PlayStation's integration of touch and Nintendo's ability to make an entire console portable. I'm definitely excited to see where companies take these little devices in the future. But for now, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But what about the PC Master Race?
Bro, leave!